Okay, so for this video, we are going to discuss about the very last example in this chapter. All right, so we put this example in the note because of it is actually a bit complicated, right? But not to say very hard, just a bit complicated. So we would like to discuss this question here. Okay, so let's start with the information given in the question. So here they say that there's a tank containing water is in the form of a cone. So this is what you can see in the figure. And then the axis is vertical and the semi-vertical angle is 60 degrees. So they are telling you that this is 60 degrees. As shown in the diagram, so at the time t equals to 0, the tank is full. So when t equals to 0, the tank is full and the depth of the water is h. So this is actually the initial value, okay, that they give you. Alright, so the depth of water is h. So h is actually a value, just that they didn't reveal it to you. Alright, it should be a value actually. Okay, so at this instance, a tap at C is open and water begins to flow out. Okay, then here they say the volume of water in the tank decrease. Okay, so volume decrease at the rate proportional to square root h, where h is the depth of the water at time t. So the tank becomes empty when t equals to 60. So all these are the information given. Okay, so hopefully you roughly have the idea about the situation here. Okay, then what they want for the first question. So for the first question, they want you to show that h and p satisfy a differential equation of this form. Okay, so they actually want you to show that this is the differential equation that you can get from the information given in the paragraph, where a is a positive constant. Okay, so let us start. All right, so I always tell students you need to prove the differential equation, to get the differential equation from the information given in the question. Okay, so first of all, I can see that anything related to the rate is this one. The volume of water in the tank decrease at the rate. All right, so volume, the volume and rate means dV over dt. We use V as a standard volume symbol, right? So dV over dt. And what do you get? You see the word proportional and also decreases, right? So proportional means here, decrease means they had to put a negative in front. So if let's say increase means positive, so decrease here become negative. And then proportional to what? Proportional to square root h. So far, this is what we can get. Right? Okay, then now let us go back to our question again. What we have here is dV over dt. And then in the question, they are having dH over dt. Okay, so they are having dH over dt. That means you have to think a way to change the differential equation dV over dt become dH over dt that they want. Okay, so how to change it become dH over dt? Then you might need to apply chain rule. Okay, therefore you need an equation that link the V and also the H. V is volume, H is the height. Okay, so what is the formula that link between volume and height? So this is a cone, right? Therefore, you can have V equals to 1 over 3 pi r square h. Because I know that from dV over dt, to change it become dH over dt, I need to apply chain rule. So to apply the chain rule, you need a formula that link the V and H together. Okay, so this is 1 over 3 pi r square h. So just a remark for you, this part is actually the volume of a cone. Okay, so from here you can see that V, there are two variables here. One is the radius, another one is the h. So when you're having V equals to r squared and h, two variables in the equation, right? You actually cannot do the differentiation because for our syllabus, our differentiation mainly based on one variable only. Okay, so that means you need to try to think how to make the R disappear, or how to change the R become some other thing else like H or volume. Okay, so you cannot have R and H and then you do the differentiation, cannot. So maybe because in my equation here I have the H, so maybe I'm planning to change the R over lah. All right, so how to change the R over? So again, you have to observe by yourself, looking in the figure that it give you. Do you know what is the R and what is the H? So R is actually the radius. Okay, so hopefully you can see what am I drawing here. So from here, this is R. Okay, and then this is H. So from this equation, from this triangle, you can actually form an equation where tangent 60 is equals to R over H. And then from here, you can get R equals to H tangent 60. So what's the value of tangent 60? If you try to press calculator or you try to draw the triangle to help you, you should get R equals to square root 3H. Alright, so here I find another equation about R in terms of H, and therefore I can substitute it into my R here. Then what do I get? I will get 1 over 3 pi R squared means square root 3H square multiply with H. So if I continue to simplify, I might have pi and then 3H power 3, and V is equals to pi H power 3. Okay, so until this step, hopefully you understand how I change it V in terms of H. Okay, then now I need to continue. I want to have dV over dH. So dV over dH is equals to 3 pi H squared. Alright. Okay, so now I go into the main point. For this main point, our question, they want us to have dH over dt. So for me, myself, I'm having, okay, how to change dH over dt? How to get the dH over dt? You can have dH over dV multiply with dV over dt. It is the chain rule, right? So that dV and dV can cancel off, you get dH over dt lah. Okay, so what is dH over dt? The opposite of this, which is 1 over 3 pi h squared. dV dt is something that you get on top, which is negative k square root h. Alright. Eventually, if you continue from here, what do you get? Okay, so maybe I continue here. Okay, so after this step, what do you get is you simplify everything. Then you should get negative k over 3 pi, and then h, I will get power negative 3 over 2. Okay, so this is my dH over dt. And because of the k and also the 3 pi, when you're having negative k, or when you're having k divided by 3 pi, k is a constant, 3 pi is also a constant. You can further simplify as a letter. So maybe I will substitute by using letter A lah, as shown in the question. And this is how you get the answer that they want you to show. Okay, so this example, you will see that it is a bit more special because after you get the differential equation from the question, right, you still need to apply chain rule to get what they want us to prove in the question itself. Alright, so somehow you need to find out all this information from the figure given, like how you express R in terms of H, how you change it become the equation V in terms of H, and then you apply the chain rule here. Alright, so this whole part is part number 1. Okay. Alright, so once you can get the differential equation that they want you to show, generally it become quite simple already. Right, so you can continue with part number 2. Okay, so maybe for me, I will just cancel this a bit to let you see the question clearly. Okay, so now what they want you to they want you to solve the differential equation given in the part 1 and obtain the expression t in terms of small letter h and also capital letter H. So in short, they just want you to solve the differential equation. Okay, all right, so let us start. Our equation is dH over dt equals to negative a and then h power negative 3 over 2. So for the very first step, you need to try to separate the variable. So after I separate the variable, I should have h on the right, 3 over 2 dh equals to negative a dt. Then I need to integrate both sides. Okay, so for this question, the integration is not really hard. After you simplify your integration, you should get 2 over 5 h power 5 over 2. And then for this part, you're having negative 80 and then plus c. So for this question itself, it is a simple integration. Okay, then now, don't forget you are having two unknown here, the a and also the c. So I need to find out both of them. Okay, so first information, when your t is equals to 0, what is the height? So the height is capital letter H. As what I mentioned, like capital letter H should be a number, just that didn't reveal to you or didn't let you know it. Alright, so H is equals to capital letter H. So you substitute it inside lah. So when you substitute everything inside, you will get C is equals to 2 over 5 and then H power 5 over 2. So this is the first constant C that you get. Then you still have the A, right? So you need the second piece of information. So where's the second piece of information here? They give you another information, right? When t equals to 60, the tank become empty. So when the tank become empty, means what? Means that the height is become 0. Because height is the depth of the water, right? So the H is equals to 0. So from here, if you substitute the equation, you will get 0 equals to negative A 60, then plus C, your C is 2 over 5, H power 5 over 2. Okay, so you try to simplify everything and so on. Your A, you should get it as 1 over 150, H power 5 over 2. Okay, all right, so eventually what do you get is, you rewrite everything again. So you should have 2 over 5, H power 5 over 2 equals to negative 150. So maybe for me, I will just put it like this. 5 over 2 divided by 150 T plus C. So the C is 2 over 5. H power 5 over 2. Okay, so now the challenging part is coming. They want you to express the final answer T in terms of H. Alright, so T in terms of H. So how can we do that? Right, so we can start slowly. Okay, so I will try to move all the T to one side first. So if I want to move the T to one side, then I'm having this. Move it to the left. Then my right hand side, I'm having 2 over 5. And then it will become 5 minus small letter. Okay, and then for this whole thing, okay, the constant here, I try to move it to the right. If I try to move it to the right hand side, then my T will become 150 divided by H power 5 over 2 multiply with 2 over 5 with the bracket of H power 5 over 2 minus H power 5 over 2. Okay, then you try to simplify it. So you should have 60 divided by 2 Then the h here, you try to multiply it inside, then you'll get 1 minus h over h power 5 over 2. So from here, this is my answer, t in terms of h. Alright, so if let's say you found you are not so sure how I get this answer, right? You just try to simplify slowly, because for me, I'm like skipping a few steps in some other places. But to me, I think it is quite easy to understand. Alright, so if let's say you don't really understand, you try to just put in everything slowly and try to get this as a final answer. Okay or not? So you can see that this one is a bit special because of you are having the capital letter H here. Some students, they might feel confused. Why do I have so many H? Alright, so the capital letter H is actually a number, just that we still don't know what is the number yet. Okay, it is not a variable, so it is just a number. Okay, so this is what we have for part number 2. Okay, so let us continue to part number 3. Okay, so for part number 3, they are asking, find the time at which the debt reached half H. So that means what is the time? Okay, when the depth is h equals to h over 2. So I think it is not hard also. You can straight away just get the answer here from the answer in part number 2. So t is equals to 60 and then 1 minus h over h 5 over 2. Okay, substitute the small letter h as half h. So you're having half h here divided by h power 5 over 2. Okay, then you can actually simplify both capital letter h. So you're having 1 over 2 power 5 over 2, and then you just press the calculator, and the calculator will give you the answer, which is 49.4. Okay, so what's the unit for this question? So if you look through the question again, you will see that they didn't give you the unit, so you just keep it like this, which is 49.4. So if let's say they mention a unit in the question, then you just make sure that you include the unit in your answer. Alright, so this is what we have for our last example in this chapter. Okay, so again, for partial question, there are some quite simple, there are some quite complicated like this. So you have to practice a lot to make sure that you are very familiar with the whole process here. Okay,